Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took on Friday, as well as the game plan going into this week and what I'm going to be looking for. So on Friday, a really good day. We caught a really good trade, and I'm going to go over the setup. So right off of open, we ended up actually opening technically at, like, we were bullish, but then once this next candle ended up forming, this 50 SMA ended up turning down, and at that point I'm considering the market neutral, because if you guys know, when we get across, the 50 SMA has to be level, which just means flat or curling up, and you can see when it's turned down like that, it's not a valid cross. So at the time, we consider the market neutral. No side has the trend, and we just look for a cross on either side of the premium. So yeah, neutral day on Friday, and since we did lose this support here on or at the 50, I was assuming or thinking that we'd head a little bit lower. If we go to the 0DT charts now, all we do is look for a cross. So there's two setups I was looking for. So right off of open, we ended up getting this big gap up here on the call side. We ended up pulling back to this 50. I wasn't buying this 50 SMA. I didn't really like how that 30-minute chart looked. So, you know, I was still considering the market neutral, and we got this pull back to the 50. I wanted to see a closure back above the 10 SMA for me to take a long position. We never got that, so I never went long. This chart ended up crossing negative, and we saw a pretty hefty dump. Now, where I got the entry from to go short was off the 0DT chart on the call side, or on the, my bad, on the put side. If I could find the chart. Okay, so the 650 put here for the 5th. You can see what happened. We got this cross right here on the premium on the put side, and we went short, and we caught, I believe, like 60 points. I did call this out at 1040. So yeah, as soon as we got this candle closure right here at 35, or what was it? Yeah, this candle ended up closing, went short on the closure of that candle, and we ended up catching, I think, yeah, 65 points, I believe, was what I was up. It actually ended up running more than that, because you could see I ended up pulling back a little bit, and we made a lower move lower, and I'm pretty, the trade probably would have been up like closer to 100 points at that point. But yeah, it was simple. All we did was play that little cross, and I'll show you what it looked like when we actually entered. So this is what it looked like. I'm gonna sling the screenshot over, and this was a textbook trade, A+ setup. You know, we got this 10 crossing the 50. Even though the SMAs didn't cross right at my entry point, you could pretty much assume this is gonna cross. I mean, there's 4 minutes left or 5 minutes left. Highly unlikely that this chart is going to go all the way back down and push the 10 and the 50 away from each other. So this was my entry point, because on the next candle, this is 100% going to cross. The 50 is already curling up too. 10 SMA's up super hard. It was a high conviction trade for me, so I did go short right here, and we saw a really good move out of it. So yeah, these contracts went all the way up over $6 a piece. And that was the move we caught on Friday. They went to $6.60 a piece. So on the initial, like on the actual premium itself, it didn't move that much. I mean, what is that, like 50%? Not even 50%. It was probably like what, probably like 35 to 45%. On NQ, volatility has been picking up, so we did catch like 8 or 65 points is what I sold it at, and on the peak of it, I think it was over 100 points. So, or no, not over 100, probably close to like 80 to 90 there. But yeah, it was simple. All we did was play that SMA cross. And then we pulled back to this 50 here. I'm not buying this 50 SMA dip. Market's still neutral. You could have played this reclaim of the 10 right here, which actually ended up playing out. Took a little bit of time, but as soon as he closed back with the 10 SMA, I don't like this for an entry point, just because this 10 SMA is sloped down super hard. I wanted to see it be more level like how it is over here. So this was not an entry I would take. Wait for this closure right here. It's all about knowing the trades you want to be taking and how to take them. Like, even though we did close above the 10 right here, I don't like how that 10 SMA is sloped down super aggressively. So wait for it to be a little bit more leveled out, and this would be your entry right here, the 1220 closure, so 1225. Stop loss is a closure below the 50. We never closed below the 50, and we got to move lower. These contracts went to 540 a piece from 396. Again, on the premium itself, it's not that big of a move, but I think it was still over 50 points on NQ on this little move. And yeah, I mean, your stop loss is the 50 on this trade. You'd only be taking one entry at this point, because we got the candle closure above, but your stop loss below 50, and just hold it until we hit TP or you stop out. So never got stopped out, so that was another winning trade. I told Discord I wasn't taking this, but this was a trade that you could have taken. It's a neutral market. You wait for the closure back with a 10 to go short, and you know, you would have been paid if you did take that. But again, it's a very simple process. We're just looking for crosses and reclaims of the 10 SMA every day. I mean, this is a very simple strategy. You just have to know, I always say this, you just have to know the trades you want to be looking for every day, why we're taking them, because the 30-minute chart is a very important factor of what trades we want to be taking, and expecting certain moves out of certain trades. So you have to be watching the 30-minute chart. I directly don't usually trade the 30-minute. I think what was it, on Thursday we took a trade off the 30-minute, but like 90% of the time it's a trade off the 0DT chart. If I'm playing the 30-minute chart, it's probably some sort of 50 bounce or 50 rejection. So yeah, those are like the only trades that I really take off the 30-minute. I don't really play the actual cross on the 30-minute. Usually all my entries are coming from the 0DT chart, which happens on a cross or a reclaim of the 10 SMA or a 50 dip. So yeah, 50 dips you don't buy in a neutral market. You only buy those in trending markets, or you just wait for the reclaim of the 10 in either market. And it's a pretty high conviction trade. 10 SMA right here, slope down super hard. That's another thing to look for, is when not to take a reclaim. Like when it's sloped down super hard like this, I'm not going to take it. So you have to wait for it to be a little bit more leveled out, like how we did on Friday. And yeah, those were the two trades that you could have taken on Friday. Really the only opportunity. But going into this week, market is neutral because on the 655s, we're going to get new contracts. It's not going to be the 655s, I don't believe. I don't even know what SPY's at, but you can see this chart is going negative on the call side, which is pretty bearish. So we're going to see how we open up Monday, go from there. But again, if for some reason the market's bullish, look for a 0DT call cross, and then either a 50 dip or a 10 SMA reclaim on calls if we're trending bullish. If we don't go bullish, then most likely we're going to get a put cross, and that'll be a really good trade to take since the 30-minute chart is going negative. So that's a good confluence there. If we have that 30-minute chart aligned with the put cross, that's a good trade to take because both are pointing to the downside. So 100% a trade you want to take on Monday or tomorrow if we do get it. But yeah, put cross, 10 SMA reclaim on puts if we're neutral. And yeah, that's pretty much the game plan. It's very simple. You just have to know the trades you want to be looking for every day. Like my high conviction trade for tomorrow is if we do, get that put cross on the 0DT chart aligned with the 30-minute chart going negative. Like that's a really, really good setup because you have those two confluences. You got the 30-minute chart aligning with the 0DT chart. Again, my entries come from the 0DT chart 90% of the time, and the 30-minute just allows you to see the bigger picture. And then when we flip to the monthly contracts, this is an even bigger time frame. So it really isn't telling me too much. If we go to the I don't even know what contracts it is, to be honest with you. No, it's not these ones. Let's see. I think it's somewhere in here. 655 calls for the 19th. Yeah, so this is what we do have. Yeah, see, this chart right here is actually really bearish. I'm not going to lie. I told you guys it's going to take a few days to play out. I picked these on Monday just because I just wanted to see what the next strike kind of looks like. But, this chart going negative, it's a pretty bearish looking chart. 10 SMA finally crossed below the 50. 50's finally turning down. And, if we do get that negative cross on the 30-minute, which we currently are, and we get a put cross on Monday, that's a really, really, really good setup tomorrow. I do favor down. Again, I'm going to play what I see, but my bias is lower because the monthly chart is losing the 50. And let me just change this to 650s because I just want to see what this chart kind of looks like. Yeah, okay. If we do get the 650s, it's still soaked up a little bit. So it really depends on the contracts we do get at the open tomorrow, because we are going to, we update the strike every Monday on the further out contracts, the monthlies, which are for the 19th, and then obviously the weeklies we change every Monday too. So that's pretty much all I got. That's what we did on Friday. Really good day. We took one loss on Thursday for 25 points, and then rest were winners for 50 to like 100 points, 120 points. I think we actually ended up catching some. I think it was Wednesday maybe we caught that trade. But yeah, really good week inside the Discord. If you guys want to learn, that's the place to be. Again, I do share my alerts, but the more important thing that you should be focusing on is learning how to take the trades, because you got to be able to do it yourself. You don't need me to alert the trades, but I still do it just to show you, when I'm entering, how I take the trades and things like that. But again, you don't need to be in the Discord to learn. Watch all the YouTube videos, and you'll definitely pick up on the things as you watch all of them. I got plenty of videos, like hundreds of videos on the YouTube on how I trade the system. So utilize them and learn how to trade it. So that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. I'm out. Peace.